All right, we got Steve Hellwagon on the line. You can catch his work at bucknuts.com. It's a 247 platform for Ohio State football. He is the senior Big Ten writer at 247 Sports. Steve, as you scan the field, I know it's difficult because of the rules or lack thereof and the lack of physicality of play, but outside of that quarterback position, and we talked kickers, who stood out for you?
Oh, there were a number of guys. We were sitting there in the press box as the game was winding down. I think at running back, you got to be excited about Master Teague, the true freshman who enrolled early. He came in and did a nice job. Antonio Williams, who's been running at number 3 behind J.K. Dobbins and Mike Weber, he also did well. It was just a cursory appearance for J.K. Dobbins. He may have had a couple carries, and that was it. They gave the ball to Mike Weber one time. He ripped off. He made a great move on the safety in the hole and was pretty much all but gone. He was tracked down at the 5-yard line after a 63-yard run. So Mike Weber looks like he could be a guy that could be playing his best football right now, and he's kind of risen to the occasion with J.K. Dobbins coming off a 1,000-yard season. Wide receiver, I think they have an interesting situation. You have Demario McCall, who's just a really speedy guy. He had 11 catches. I think it was 150 or 160 yards, 2 touchdowns in this spring game for him. And he was redshirted last year, only played a game or 2, and then was an injury redshirt. He lines up at the H receiver position, which is the Percy Harvin, Curtis Samuel type position. Paris Campbell, KJ Hill are already there. So now you're 3 deep if you count him as well at that position. And I just wonder, this would be a question I would have for Urban Meyer. We're supposed to do a post-spring debrief at some point beyond what we talked to him about after the game. And to my way of thinking, my question to him would be, do you consider moving one of those guys to one of the 2 other wide receiver positions, the split end or the flanker, because you're getting so much production out of that one position with those 3 guys, or potentially can. So I think Demario McCall is a guy who's got to play, got to have the ball in his hands. And if other guys who are lined up there at the wide receiver positions aren't going to make plays, you need to get the playmakers on the field. I don't care if you call them an X, a Z, or an H, or whatever you label it. Just give them the doggone ball is kind of my feeling on that. So I think that's good. Ben Victor, he's a guy who has struggled with consistency. He caught 7 touchdown passes last season for the Buckeyes, but I think he only had like 15 or 16 catches for the year, something like that. Or actually it was in the low 20s, I suppose. But at any rate, they got him a couple touchdown catches in this game. I think that was good to see for him. So I think, again, that position is emerging. There's no excuses for that position. They are all veteran players at this point, and it's time for those guys to really produce on the bottom line this year. Offensive line, Thayer Munford at left tackle. It seems like he's a guy, a sophomore, who's really come on and done a great job. Brady Taylor, a 5th-year senior, looks like he's doing really well at the center position. They've got 4 battle-tested, experienced guys at the offensive guard for those 2 positions, and they'll sort that out in the fall.